Every car loses value, but some have already taken the hardest hit. These 8 are sitting close to the bottom of the used market, where condition matters more than badge hype. Buy the right years, avoid the weak point, and you may lose far less to depreciation than the first owners did. Number 1 proves that math is best. Number 8. Suzuki SX4. Crossover at WD 2007 through 2009. Before you laugh at the Suzuki badge, price a small all-wheel drive crossover that already took its entire resale beating. Focus on the Suzuki SX4 crossover AWD from 2007 through 2009, with the 2.0-liter 4-cylinder and either the manual or the old 4-speed automatic. Skip 2010 and newer automatic SX4 models for this list because Edmunds shows the automatic changed to a CVT. Also, skip a T if the body is crusty, the title is rebuilt, or the seller says the AWD warning light is just a sensor. Kelley Blue Book shows a 2009 hatchback had an original price near $18,000, while basic book numbers now sit around the low $2,000 range. In the real US market, clean AWD crossovers with about 100,000 to 180,000 miles often ask $3,000 to $6,500 because snow state buyers still understand the value. The price bottomed because Suzuki left the US car business, and the badge has no showroom pull. That is the secret. You are buying AWD usefulness after the name has already lost the fight. The engine is naturally aspirated, the car is light, and these early automatics avoid turbo heat and CVT worries, so the repair path stays simple. I would not promise magic. I would expect a rust-free, maintained example to give 40,000 to 80,000 more practical miles. The weak point is rust and driveline neglect. Get low and check the rockers, rear suspension mounting points, and subframe edges. Look for rear differential seepage and torn CV boots. Start it cold and listen for pulley noise or exhaust leaks. In a safe open lot, test the AWD lock and make sure tight turns do not bind. Buy this when you need winter traction, easy parking, and a cheap second vehicle. Walk away when flaky metal, binding AWD, or old tires turn the floor price into a risky bill. The next car drops traction but gives you big highway comfort and domestic parts nobody has to special order. If this bottom price logic helps you avoid a new payment, subscribe. We follow the money, weak points, and repair trail every time here. Number 7. Chevrolet Impala, LS or LT 2008 through 2011. The seller wants you to see an old fleet sedan. I want you to feel the warm shift before you decide it is a bargain. The buy window is the Chevrolet Impala LS or LT from 2008 through 2011 with the 3.5-liter V6 and 4-speed automatic. Avoid police package cars, worn rental leftovers, SS models with the 5.3-liter V8, and any Impala that bangs, flares, or hesitates after it is fully warm. Kelley Blue Book shows a 2011 Impala started around $25,000 when new, while current fair purchase numbers live around the middle $4,000 to middle $5,000 area. A real clean title, LS or LT, with 110,000 to 190,000 miles, should land around $3,500 to $6,000, depending on tires, rust, air conditioning, and records. The market prices it low because old sedans lost the popularity contest. Everyone wants a crossover, so the Impala sits at the floor even when the trunk is huge and the seat is easy on your back. According to IC Cars, the Impala has an 11.4% chance of reaching 200,000 miles, which is evidence, not a promise. The mechanical reason is plain. The 3.5 V6 is naturally aspirated, parts are common, and independent shops know the layout. That keeps the wallet safer than a cheap luxury badge with dealer-only electronics. The weak point is the warm transmission behavior. Drive it for at least 20 minutes. Hold the brake and shift from park to drive, then reverse. Check the coolant tank for oily film, sludge, or a low level. Then take a rough street and listen for front-end clunks. A fleet-looking car can still be value, but ugly coolant or a confused transmission is a red flag. Do not pay extra for chrome wheels or a sunroof before you price the tires, brakes, and first fluid service. On this floor, $500 saved on the wrong car disappears fast. Buy this for cheap highway miles, a big trunk, ordinary repair access, and comfort, without prestige bills. Skip it if you smell coolant, see abuse, or hear the seller blame every warning on a cheap sensor. The next one is not a sedan. It is a small pickup that the big depreciation has already happened because cheap trucks have become scarce. Number 6. Ford Ranger XL or XLT 2006 through 2011. A cheap pickup with a rotten frame is not transportation. It is a repair bill with a bed liner. Look for the Ford Ranger XL or XLT from 2006 through 2011. The lower cost sweet spot is the 2.3-liter four-cylinder when you need errands, parts runs, and light hauling. A clean V6 can work too, but avoid rusty frames, lifted trail toys, abused four-wheel drive trucks, cheap repaints, and 4.0-liter V6 examples with cold chain rattle unless the service history is strong. Kelley Blue Book shows the 2011 Ranger has barely moved in recent years, with resale values near the high $7,000 range and fair purchase prices often around the upper $8,000 area before condition changes. In today's U.S. market, an honest work truck with 130,000 to 220,000 miles can still ask $6,500 to $11,000, and clean low-mile four-wheel drive trucks go higher. That is the floor because small body on-frame pickups disappeared. Then buyers realized a new truck payment is not required to haul mulch. IC Cars gives the Ranger a 23.7% chance of reaching 200,000 miles. The mechanism is not fancy. A separate frame, common Ford parts, light-duty size, and available four-cylinder power keep the job simple. The weak point is rust, especially frame rails and rear leaf spring hangers. Crawl under it with a flashlight. Check cab corners, bed mounts, brake lines, and spring hangers. Start it cold and listen for chain, pulley, or exhaust noise. Drive slowly over bumps and feel for loose steering or ball joint knock. Ray, a retired electrician, compares an $8,200 Ranger with 168,000 miles against a cheaper rusty truck. The clean frame wins because welding later would wipe out the wallet savings. Buy this Ranger for dump runs, yard work, and light haul duty. Walk away from structural rust, sloppy steering, or a seller who washed the underside right before showing it. The next car hides Toyota logic under a dead Pontiac badge, which is why many buyers still miss the secret. Number 5. Pontiac Vibe Base, 2009 through 2010. The badge says Pontiac, but the buying math says the Toyota tax may already be missing. I would shop the Pontiac Vibe Base from 2009 through 2010 with the 1.8-liter engine and front-wheel drive. Avoid the 2.4-liter trims unless the oil history is clean. Avoid all-wheel drive examples with unknown service, and never buy one with unresolved airbag recall status. Edmunds lists the 2010 Vibe Base as a 1.8-liter car that started around $16,000, while Kelley Blue Book puts current fair purchase numbers for common Vibe wagons around the low to middle $4,000 area. In the real market, clean title base cars with 110,000 to 190,000 miles usually make sense around $4,000 to $7,500, with rust, recall proof, and tires moving the number. The price bottomed because Pontiac died, and the badge scares buyers who do not realize how closely this practical wagon relates to the Toyota matrix. The Toyota connection is the value, but do not turn that into blind faith. That Toyota tie also keeps basic service familiar. Filters, brakes, coils, and suspension parts do not send you hunting through orphan brand forms for weeks. But the dead badge does mean you verify parts by VIN and engine, not by memory. That is where smart buyers turn a forgotten hatchback into a cheaper, longer, low-drama survivor. IC Cars shows the Toyota Matrix has a 15.2% chance of reaching 200,000 miles, so a clean Vibe bought around 130,000 to 170,000 miles can be a 50,000 to 100,000 mile play if the condition is right. The mechanical reason is the Toyota family 1.8-liter four-cylinder, moving a useful hatchback body, without heavy crossover weight. No turbo, no fancy image, no oversized wheels required. The weak points are recall status and water intrusion. Run the VIN through NHTSA before you pay. Lift the cargo floor and look for dampness, rust, or a musty smell. Check the oil level before the drive, then again after it idles warm. Fold the rear seats and test the hatch struts. Listen for rear suspension noise on rough pavement. This is a cargo bargain for a commuter, small business driver, or homeowner who wants room without SUV pricing. Skip it. If the airbag work is missing, the cargo floor is wet, or the seller hides oil use. The next car goes softer and bigger, and it lost money because nobody shops Hyundai for old-school comfort. Subscribe if you would rather buy records than promises. This channel is for drivers who want the depreciation loss paid by somebody else already up front. Number 4. Hyundai Azera GLS or Limited, 2007 through 2011. This is the kind of sedan that lost 30 grand in pride before you ever touch the key. The right target is the Hyundai Azera GLS or Limited from 2007 through 2011. Early GLS cars can have the 3.3-liter V6, while limited models and later cars commonly use the 3.8-liter V6. For this depreciation floor story, I would favor clean 3.8 cars with the conventional automatic, but the condition matters more than the badge on the deck lid. Avoid 2012 and newer Azera models here because that is a different generation. Also avoid oil leaks near the alternator, dead luxury features, weak air conditioning, and any car with no fluid history. Kelley Blue Book shows a 2011 Azera GLS started around $26,000, while the Limited was around $31,000 new. Current fair purchase numbers sit around the middle $4,000 to low $5,000 area in clean title cars with about 90,000 to 170,000 miles, often trade around $3,500 to $6,500. The market overlooks it because older Hyundai luxury did not earn Lexus resale. That is why the first owner lost the luxury money, and you can buy the comfort. IC Cars gives the Azera a 10.1% chance of reaching 200,000 miles. The mechanical reason is a naturally aspirated V6 and a conventional automatic, not a tiny turbo engine pulling too much weight. The weak point I care about is valve cover oil leakage near the alternator area. Use a flashlight around the valve covers and alternator. Start it cold and listen for belt squeal, pulley noise, or rough idle. Test every power seat, window, sunroof, climate button, and radio control. Then drive until warm and feel each shift. Oil near the alternator is a red flag because a cheap sedan can become an expensive electrical problem. Buy this for quiet highway miles, big seats, and near luxury calm without the Lexus price. Walk away if the electronics are dead, the oil leak is fresh, or the transmission gets warm. The next vehicle forgets sedan pride and gives you space per dollar that 3-row SUVs cannot touch. Number 3. Dodge Grand Caravan SE or SXT 2014 through 2016. A cheap minivan is either the smartest space per dollar buy in the lot or somebody's worn-out daycare shuttle. Focus on the Dodge Grand Caravan SE or SXT from 2014 through 2016 with the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 and the 62T E6-speed automatic. Avoid high-mile rental vans, harsh warm shifts, oil pooling near the filter housing, dead sliding doors, broken stow-and-go hardware, and higher trims unless every feature works. Kelley Blue Book shows a 2016 Grand Caravan started in the middle $20,000 range and now sits near the upper $6,000 to upper $7,000 range in national value figures. In real listings, clean SE or SXT vans with 100,000 to 170,000 miles often make sense around $6,500 to $9,500. That is cheap because minivans are uncool, and the Grand Caravan does not carry the resale strength of a Toyota Sienna or Honda Odyssey. But if you need family hauling, low loading height, and seats that fold into the floor, the image does not carry the groceries. IC Cars gives the Grand Caravan a 12% chance of reaching 200,000 miles. The mechanism is parts supply and utility. The Pentastar V6 is common across Chrysler products, and the van gives maximum space without luxury pricing. The weak point is oil filter housing and oil cooler leakage. Look down into the engine valley for oil pooling near the filter housing. Drive it fully warm and check for delayed or harsh shifts. Fold every stow-and-go seat into the floor and back up. Run both sliding doors, rear air, front air, and the hatch struts. Denise, a caregiver, finds a $7,400 Grand Caravan with 142,000 miles. Then rejects the cheaper van because oil is sitting in the valley. That saved her from buying a project before the first family trip. Buy this for caregivers, families, church hauling, or small business work. Skip it. If the interior is destroyed, the shifts are rough, or the oil leak turns value into trouble. The next one is boxier, thirstier, and tougher because real truck-based SUVs have stopped getting cheaper. Number 2. Nissan Xterra X or S 2011 through 2015. The gas mileage scares shoppers away, but that is exactly why this truck can sit near the floor while crossovers keep pretending. Buy the Nissan Xterra X or S from 2011 through 2015 with the 4.0-liter V6, rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive depending on what you actually need. Avoid 2005 through 2010 automatic Xterra trucks unless radiator and transmission cooler history is documented, because older automatics are tied to the coolant and transmission fluid mixing problem owners call SMOD. Also avoid over-modified off-road rigs, neglected Pro 4X premiums, rusty frames, sagging rear leaf springs, and any truck wearing cheap lift parts. Kelley Blue Book shows a 2015 Xterra X started around $26,000 and now sits around the low $11,000 fair purchase area, while S models often price higher. In the real US market, clean X or S trucks with 110,000 to 190,000 miles usually fall around $9,000 to $15,500, with four-wheel drive, rust, and modifications deciding the spread. The price has bottomed because Nissan stopped building it, and simple truck-based SUVs are disappearing. It is thirsty, old-fashioned, and not quiet. That keeps casual buyers away. Outdoor buyers still see value. IC Cars gives the Xterra a 13.3% chance of reaching 200,000 miles. The mechanical reason is a body-on-frame layout, naturally aspirated V6, and conventional truck hardware. The weak point is cooling history on older automatics, plus rust and suspension wear on all examples. Check coolant color and transmission fluid condition before driving. Look under frame rails, rear leaf mounts, and skid plate areas for damage. Drive tight circles and listen for driveline binding or front-end clunks. Check rear leaf sag, uneven tire wear, and off-road scars. The four-wheel drive system also needs a real test, not a dashboard glance. Shift through the modes where safe, listen for grinding, and make sure the seller has not hidden a transfer case problem behind mud tires. Buy it for camping, dogs, dirt roads, winter traction, and a driver who wants a real SUV without luxury electronics. Walk away from mystery coolant history, crusty frame metal, or a seller who calls every dent a trail story. Number 1 gives up the off-road image, but it proves depreciation. Floor math better than anything here because its current value has already stopped falling. If this list is saving you from one shiny mistake, subscribe. We want cars that hold value because they still earn their spot daily. Number 1. Mercury Grand Marquis, GS or LS, 2006 through 2011. This is not the car people post to impress strangers. It is the car that proves the depreciation math on paper. The buy window is the Mercury Grand Marquis GS or LS from 2006 through 2011, with the 4.6-liter V8 and 4-speed automatic. Avoid rusty northern cars, neglected cooling systems, sagging rear air suspension, worn-out ex-service abuse from related Panther platform cars, dead climate control, and mystery warning lights. Kelley Blue Book shows the 2011 Grand Marquis started around $30,800 when new, while the current resale value is around the middle $7,000 area, with trade values lower. That matters because KBB depreciation history even shows recent upward movement, not another hard drop. In real buying, clean 2006 through 2011 cars with 90,000 to 180,000 miles often make sense around $4,500 to $9,500. Low-mile garage cars can ask more, and rusty bargains can look cheap for the wrong reason. The market overlooks it because big sedans are not fashionable. Everybody wants a crossover stance, a badge, or a screen. The Grand Marquis gives big seats, a low-stress highway feel, a huge trunk, and repair access local shops already understand. Edmunds confirms the 2011 car used the 4.6 V8 and 4-speed automatic. And that old Ford hardware is the reason this car still has a buyer base. No turbo, no CVT, no complicated all-wheel drive system. The engine makes relaxed power and the transmission follows a simple repair path. That does not mean it is perfect. It means the failure points are easier to inspect than on many newer cars. The weak point is coolant seepage around the intake area and age-related suspension trouble. Look for coolant smell, dried residue, or fresh wetness near the intake manifold area. Check the frame rails, rockers, body mounts, and lower door seams for rust. Look at rear ride height after the car sits, especially if it has rear air suspension. Drive it fully warm and feel the 4 speed shifts, brake vibration, steering play, and air conditioning performance. Also, run the VIN through NHTSA because certain Grand Marquis cars can fall under steering-related recall history when previous shaft service was performed. A clean Grand Marquis can be a survivor, but a rusty one is a money pit with soft seats. Walter, a retired mail carrier, sees a $6,900 Grand Marquis with receipts beside a $4,800 car with rear sag and scaly rocker panels. The cheaper car looks tempting until the suspension and metal tell the truth. The lesson is simple. At the depreciation floor, condition beats the discount. I would buy this for long highway drives, easy repairs, large adults, simple ownership, and a buyer who cares more about comfort than looking modern. Skip it. If gas mileage is your first concern, parking space is tight, or the underside looks flaky, walk away. If the coolant smell is strong, the rear sits low, or the seller cannot show basic service. This is number one because it has already lost the fancy money, kept a loyal parts network, and found its used market bottom. The depreciation story is stronger here because the car already moved from a used luxury alternative to an old sedan tool. Once a clean Panther car reaches this range, the buyer pool changes. It is no longer a buyer comparing it with a new sedan. It is a buyer comparing metal, records, ride quality, and repair access. That is why the right example can sit at the same money years later while a complicated newer sedan keeps sliding. The wrong example still loses because rust and cooling leaks do not care how good the platform is. That is not a bargain. That is delayed pain. You are not buying excitement. You are buying a car that can drive 300 highway miles, leave your back alone, and still protect your wallet when the new car lot wants another payment. Buyer roadmap. The Suzuki SX4 crossover. AWD is the budget bad weather pick. Inspect rust, CV boots, rear driveline seepage, and AWD binding before trusting the low price. The Chevrolet Impala LS or LT is the cheap highway comfort pick. Buy smooth, warm shifts, clean coolant, decent tires, and no fleet abuse. The Ford Ranger XL or XLT is the small truck floor value pick. The frame, leaf spring hangers, brake lines, and steering feel decide the deal. The Pontiac Vibe base is the hatchback cargo pick hiding under a dead badge. Verify airbag recall completion, dry cargo floors, oil level, and rear hatch hardware. The Hyundai Azera GLS or Limited is the comfort sedan depreciation bargain. Check oil near the alternator, warm shifts, air conditioning, and every power feature. The Dodge Grand Caravan SE or SXT is the family space per dollar pick. Inspect the filter housing area, warm transmission behavior, sliding doors, rear air, and stow-and-go seats. The Nissan Xterra X or S is the truck-based SUV choice. Buy cooling history, clean frame metal, honest suspension, and no off-road abuse. The Mercury Grand Marquis GS or LS is the strongest bottom price proof. Check coolant seepage, rust, rear suspension height, warm shifts, and records. A great engine does not save a neglected vehicle. Buy the records, inspect the weak points, and leave room for catch-up maintenance. Click the next video playing on your screen right now. It covers cars that look cheap but keep falling. Subscribe, stay skeptical, and stop letting depreciation punish your wallet again.